Hello everyone and welcome to our home. We wanted to share with you during these unique COVID times a very special Sunday lunch that's one of our favorites. Catherine's doing the filming, I'm going to do the cooking. Please come on in. Our lunch today is a fennel salad with walnuts, croutons, Parmesan cheese, absolutely delicious, followed by a roast chicken. Now I know lots of you have said roast chicken, that's no big deal, but I'm sure you're gonna love this one. It's a technique called spatchcock. I actually learned it from watching Martha Stewart, and it's amazing. The whole chicken is done in about an hour. We've got a few great sides to go with it. We're going to make Hasselback potatoes. I don't know where that name came from. They are actually a bit of a hassle, but they're well worth it. And English spring peas, they're in season. We're going to do those with a little bit of mint, some honey glazed carrots as well. So we've got lots for the main course, and let's get to it. All right, so now part of the first steps for preparing for the main event, which is the chicken. Remember, this is a special chicken I mentioned to you, spatchcock chicken, and we're going to put herbs with the chicken, but not just stuffed into the center of the bird. No, we're actually going to put them right under the skin. It's magical. What are the herbs we're going to use? Well, everyone loves garlic. We've got a few cloves of that, about 5 cloves. Fresh rosemary, always a great thing. Italian flat leaf parsley, not the curly one. So we've cleaned up a bunch of it, but here's what it looks like when you go and buy it in the store. And a great idea is to get one of these little living pots of thyme and sage. It's much more tender the time when you get it when it's still alive in the pot versus when you buy it already in the store. And sage, same thing. It's always great to do it that. So these are the herbs we are going to use. I'm going to chop them all up. I'll show you a little bit of that, and then we'll see you again. All right, well, here's our chicken, and it's a fine looking chicken. As I mentioned, it's about just a little bit under 5 pounds. And now we're going to do this process called spatchcock. These are a pretty handy tool if you have one. If you don't have one, garden shears work perfectly well, okay? And this is a set of poultry shears, and we're just going to go and cut the chicken right along the backbone here. So we'll cut the backbone out of the chicken entirely. Just like that. To season it, here's how we start. What you do is you just take your finger and go right into under the skin of the chicken. So I put my finger in there under the thigh and release some space. I'll go right over to the leg. Don't worry, I wash my hands for the full 20 seconds. I sang happy birthday twice. That's the way we do it these days. Okay, so now it's time to put the herb mixture right under the skin. So you just grab a little pinch and lift up one of those areas that we opened up, and then we're just going to push it in with our fingers right there under the skin. Now you can see, because we can see through the skin, we've got the herbs kind of well distributed throughout both the leg and thigh and all across the entire breast. Another trick that I learned from one of my chef friends is using parchment paper. Instead of using tin foil, use parchment paper. That's what all the chefs use. So we've been using it for a while. Makes for a really easy cleanup and better for the environment. Now it's time to season the chicken with the regular salt and pepper. We'll use sea salt, not iodized salt. Make sure you get under the armpit here of the chicken, and then a generous amount of pepper. Don't worry, you can't really over season it. The other side now. Again, you can use a liberal amount, but make sure you've distributed it well so that it does not any one place that's too salty. And some pepper, fresh ground pepper again. And we're going to be roasting off this back and neck, so we're going to give them a little bit of a salt and pepper treatment as well. Okay, and now as we put our parchment paper here in our tray, we're going to set up a little bed for our chicken. And this is that tool that allows you to slice things perfectly, make those wonderful gaufret potatoes, etc. Today, we're just going to use it to slice a lemon, and got to be a little bit careful. So as you can see, you get these beautiful slices of lemon, and with this, we're going to make a little bed for our chicken. That way, when we put the chicken down, it's going to have this wonderful bed of lemons and some additional herbs that's going to perfume the chicken from the bottom up. And now for the star himself. Lay that right over the bed of those herbs. All right? Already looks good. Prepare our ingredients for our fennel salad with croutons, walnuts, some Parmesan cheese. And the first part is to make some croutons. So I went and bought a round sourdough bread. Today, no, I didn't go to San Francisco, but the next best thing to Granville Island. And you just tear it roughly, and we're gonna tear about 2 cups or so, you know, some of it with the crust, some of it without crust, so we have a little bit of choices. Good, ooh, it is really good, olive oil here on these croutons. And here you got to get your hands in because you want the bread to absorb this olive oil. That's going to make it extra crunchy as well and that much more flavorful. Probably for 2 cups of this sourdough bread, you probably put about 3, maybe 4 tablespoons of oil. Don't be afraid to get your hands in there. I'm just going to put these on a tray here, just like that. Give it some space. We've already preheated the oven to 400 degrees, and that'll be plenty warm enough. And I put them all on one side, and I put the walnuts on the other side because the walnuts cook a little faster than the bread. And then we're just going to pop it right in the oven. There we go. So we'll check on our croutons and our walnuts in about 10 minutes. All right, so now while our croutons and our walnuts are toasting, we're going to work on the vinaigrette for the salad. So once again, we're going to use this wonderful garlic press. That makes it a lot easier. We've got a little bit of chili flakes, unusual. 1/4 teaspoon, probably about that much. You really want to look for a cold pressed olive oil, and I would say 3 or 4 tablespoons. Cherry vinegar typically comes from Spain. This is a 20-year-old cherry vinegar. And normally when you're making a vinaigrette, they talk about probably equal amounts of oil and acid. So this would be the acid. So about 3 tablespoons of that as well. And we're just going to give this a bit of a whisk. And so we'll leave it and set it aside for a little bit. So as you can see, our walnuts are pretty much done, but our croutons still need a little bit. So I'm going to take out the walnuts and put the croutons back. All right, let's go check on our croutons. Ooh, look at those. Those are toasty golden brown. Absolutely perfect. Here's a little trick. I took out 2 wooden spoons, and what we do with a Hasselback potato is we are going to make many different cuts, about 1/8 of an inch along all the way across the potato, but not all the way through. Okay, so here's how you do it. Here's the trick. You take a couple of wooden spoons, you put them on your cutting board, and then as you cut down, the wooden spoon stops you from going all the way through the potato. Isn't that a cool trick? I've made some garlic slices, very, very thin. You see that? What I do is I open the potato, that little in between those slices, every second slice or so, and I'm going to put some of this thinly sliced garlic right in the potato. And then what we're going to do is we'll put some olive oil where we've put in a little bit of chopped up rosemary as well. And we will bathe the potato. And what we're doing is we're going to chop up the remainder, a few slices of our garlic. Remember, we put the garlic in between the individual slices of the potato so that the garlic didn't eventually burn. So it's going to stay right inside. Put it in a olive oil. Maybe a tablespoon, a little bit more. A little melted butter. I'm going to be right back with that. Put some in the microwave. We're going to add to our dish right here. There we go. Over to our pan where we've got our Hasselback potatoes on the same pan that we're using for our chicken. Now we're ready to go. So from here, we're going to go into the oven, and we're going to go in the oven at 400 degrees for about an hour. And remember, this is close to 5 pounds, or 4.7 or so pound chicken. Normally people would think that takes an hour and a half or so to cook, but we'll be doing it in just about an hour. So we'll check on it in a little bit. And these are those spring peas. Take a look at that, folks. Aren't those beautiful? Just beautiful. So that's what we're gonna have with our roast chicken dinner today. And we're gonna make the English style spring peas with mint. So you just kind of push like that, and it pulls apart. And there they are. And now we're making a bit of a glaze for our carrots. It's pretty simple. We're just putting in some honey from local honey with some olive oil, and we're going to use that to brush our carrots with just a little salt and pepper, that's all, and roast them. So it's not complicated at all. So we've taken our carrots, these are beautiful organic carrots, and we're just gonna cut off that little bit of an end there. We've washed them and scrubbed them, kept the peels on so it's got a little bit of extra vitamins and things. And then we're just gonna put them here on our tray. We're just gonna sprinkle some salt right on it, just like that. Nothing more complicated than that. Okay. And now, take our handy brush and just brush our carrots. Just like that. A little pepper. Not too much. And we'll turn it over, do the same thing, and pop them in the oven with about 30 minutes to go. Maybe even a little less, because when we bring the chicken out, it's gonna need to rest. So we're just getting ahead of the game right now. Okay folks, so we're about halfway through cooking the chicken. We just checked on that. And now, because I'm getting hungry, I must say, we should make our salad. So we're gonna make a fennel salad, a beautiful salad, kind of a licoricey type of flavor. It's light and bright before the heaviness of the chicken meal, okay? So we're just gonna chop that off, and now we'll use our handy dandy mandolin, pull it down. Lovely thin slices of fennel, okay? Well, as I said, we're gonna wait till about 15 minutes or so before the chicken is supposed to be done. That's the best time to put in the carrots, because the chicken will have to rest when we take it out. So we're just gonna slide in here quickly. Don't want to spend too much time admiring our chicken, but my oh my, it looks good. Next, though, we need to work on our salad. What we're gonna do is use some of the zest. And I must admit, for a long time, I didn't really kind of understand how good zest was. It really does make a difference, because of the oils that are the lemon flavor are all concentrated in the peel. So adding the zest makes a big difference. So we're gonna put the zest of about half a lemon or so. Half a lemon. So there we go. And I'm just gonna make sure that no seeds go in. And I might put a little extra. We've got some mint. And we're just gonna tear the mint a little bit, just like that. Just like a little bit of, I don't wanna slice it, because slicing it can actually, in a way, bruise it. I'm just gonna mix that. Okay, so we've stirred up our lemon juice, lemon zest, fennel, and some torn up mint. And now we're just gonna use a vegetable peeler and slice in a bit of Parmesan. Not a lot, we're gonna put some more when we plate it. But this will kind of let some of the salt, we're gonna add some salt too, to the dish. So now the salt will bring all of the flavors together inside the salad. So we're gonna put in a nice pinch of salt. Again, just spin it around, let it come together for a little bit. We're getting close. Remember that mixture we made earlier? Now it's had time to sit, etc. We're gonna put a good portion of that over our croutons. We'll keep a little bit, but not much. Got our walnuts from earlier. Those look really good. We toasted them, let them cool down, so now they're extra special. And I'm just gonna, not even chop them, I'm just gonna break them a bit. Toss that around with a spoon. Got 2 plates. Crouton mixture. Put a little more Parmesan cheese here on the bottom. I love the way the peeler takes care of this. It's one of those tricks that you don't think of, and then when you try it, it's like, well, that makes perfect sense. Some of our fennel salad, just like that, with the mint. A little more of our dressing that we've got. Fennel salad with mint, sourdough croutons, and toasted walnuts. I hope you will try the recipe and enjoy it as much as we're about to do right now. It's a moment of truth. The big reveal of the spatchcock chicken. Remember, it was almost 5 pounds. It would normally have taken an hour and a half or longer if we had cooked it traditional way. But this way, remember, I learned it from Martha Stewart, and it's never failed me yet. So let's hope we're okay here. Here we go. Whoa, look at that. And look at those incredible Hasselback potatoes. We're just going to take it out and put it right here. It's going to have to rest a little bit, but I would say it looks pretty darn good. Okay, our last dish. We've taken the chicken out, it's resting. And so what we're going to do now is do our English spring peas with mint, okay? And so we put a little bit of olive oil. We've used very good olive oil. You could use a regular olive oil for this. And what we're going to do is we're just going to toss the peas right in there. And this is going to cook quickly, folks. The peas in there. And put a little bit of salt. We're going to put some water, just enough to cover the peas. And we're going to turn up the heat and let it cook for about 2 minutes. We'll get a few more of our mint leaves ready. Okay, let's pour off a little water on the heat. Turn the heat down a little bit. Put in a little bit of torn mint. You can still see there's still some water in the pan. And we'll also add just a touch of butter. Cheese and butter are a match made in heaven. And let's face it, butter makes everything taste a little better. Okay, folks. Well, it's time to eat. Let me get my glass of wine because this was so much fun to spend time with all of you. We ate the salad already. I hope you got a picture of that. It was delicious. It didn't last long, I'll tell you that. But we've got a beautiful meal ahead of us. These wonderful organic honey glazed carrots. These English spring peas with mint. And the spatchcock chicken, you can see it's crispy all over because we flattened it out. So every part of it is crispy. And then these devilish Hasselback potatoes. Look how fantastic those are. So Catherine and I are going to now eat this. And I hope that sometime we can get together soon and have a meal together. All the best from both of us. Thank you.